On Saturday, the Phoenix Open, a new attendance record was set. For the first time, they busted the 200,000 mark and became the largest attended sporting event in the United States outside of auto racing. We saw a little bit of everything, and so did Ricky Fowler. Three-time PGA Tour winner's day might be best summarized with this shot. His second at 15. It's off the mark. Oh, but it's trying to hang in there and avoid the big mistake. Look at that. Keeping his hopes alive for his 4th worldwide win in the last 9 months. To get it, he's going to have to take down his good buddy Danny Lee, who drained this monster putt on 8 from just inside 40 feet. One of many highlights on the day that helped him carve out a 3-shot lead in Scottsdale. Golf Central is live. We're at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, and it starts right now.
Golf Central, brought to you by Titleist.
And the fanatics at the 16th hole gave us their best. The stands are now clearing out after a big day in golf. Saturday at the Waste Management Phoenix Open lived up to the hype. Record attendance, and 2 of the most popular names in golf are part of the Sunday story. Ricky Fowler and Phil Mickelson, the cleanup crew, has their work cut out for them this evening. They'll likely be able to stay up late and watch some Dubai desert golf with us at 3:30 in the morning. It is Danny Lee who is in charge of this golf tournament. He and Ricky Fowler are very good friends, and we have some other young, talented names in the mix as well, like Hideki Matsuyama. Phil Mickelson, the Hall of Fame member, well into his 40s, lurking in pursuit of his 4th win at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Let's get right to the highlights. I'm with Randall Chambly and Aaron Oberholzer. Really great day to watch golf.
Certainly was, and a great day for Phil Mickelson fans. This, folks, was his 65th stroke of the day. He started on the back 9, and he finished on number 9, and that's a 65. And all of a sudden, there's a hint, a chance. If he has a great day tomorrow, he could make it win number 4 here in Phoenix.
We'll take a deeper look at that round later in the show. Ricky Fowler started round 3, 1 off the lead for birdie at 1. We will pick him up, and it's from 17 feet.
After a beautiful shot from the middle of the fairway, buries it. That's the way you want to start your 3rd round. Send a message to all those boys. Good chaser Ricky Fowler has been over the last year.
Co-leader Danny Lee at number 2 from 176.
He didn't birdie the first hole. He made par, but trying to keep pace with his playing companion, Ricky Fowler. He's sticking that finish and sticking this shot. When it would finish rolling, it'd be 3 feet away. And when he walked off that green, he'd be 1 under for the day.
And 10 under, tied for the lead. After a birdie at 3, we pick him up at 4 for birdie again to take the lead.
Well, this man is a fantastic putter, and the ball striking this week has come along for the ride as well. This is where he makes his money, is on the greens.
Up by 1. Fowler at number 5.
One of the more difficult driving holes out here. There's out of bounds, very quick to the right, big mounds over on the left, and well, on those mounds is, well, a lot of prickly things that you don't want any part of. Some ironwood trees, some cactus, and well, that's exactly where Ricky Fowler ended up. That's a prickly pear of cactus, believe it or not, and there's no go from there. So Ricky Fowler looking for a drop. He would find it, and he would drop a shot and do well to do just that.
Off the pace, Lee at number 8 for birdie. We showed you this at the top of the show. Gone. So he's at 13 under and up by a pair. On to the 15th, the par 5, so famous.
Well, if Danny has a miss, the miss is to the left. And what's left of 15? Fairway, but a lake. And this one you'd think's going to stay up, and then all of a sudden it just rolls off and disappears, and that would cost him.
So let's take another look.
And now Ricky
Fowler for his 3rd.
Yes, that's right. Having a go at this green. And right there is a helpless feeling. You know you've hit it in the water. You got to go up there and take a drop. Nope. How about that?
That's amazing that that ball did not go in the water.
What a break.
Amazing.
What a break this time from the aerial view. And you can see just how fortunate he was that that ball stopped. And What a shot. What a pair of hands.
What percentage did you give him on this one, knowing how good he is with wedge?
Getting it up and down, that's a 10% at best. I mean, the best get it up and down around 60% of the time. This is a very difficult shot. You see it right here. On a downslope, awkward stance, got to catch it just right. So easy because the ball was setting up to hit it high on the face, come up short in the water of the bunker. Anyway, he made par.
On to the 16th.
Want to give the fans something to cheer at here. Going right at it. And he would come up short in that bunker. And that's a tricky little bunker shot right there. You don't have a lot of green to work with. The nice thing is you do have uphill, and now he's left himself an uphill cut. And that is clutch. Big save there. Didn't want to get too far behind one Danny Lee.
Just hanging in there. Fowler and Lee at the 17th hole. Good friends. Having some fun on the tee box.
Checking out that new haircut Danny Lee got.
And then a little later, Fowler would have this for birdie.
Well, this is a very difficult hole location, and Ricky hit a great chip. The benefactor of that missed putt was Danny Lee, who had his putt on the exact same line, just a little shorter. And this is a more educated, good friend, Ricky Fowler's, and he converts for birdie.
Can't give a pro a second look.
And he is going to post with a 3-shot lead heading into Sunday in Scottsdale. That's a round of 67. Beautiful round of 64 by Bryce Mulder to climb into contention. 65s shared by Boo Weekley and Phil Mickelson. Boo with the Fu Man Boo.
Love it. Love it.
All right, let's
Well
get back
done.
to this leader looking for his second win on tour with his first 54-hole lead. He is with George Savaricas.
Danny Lee, our leader, through 54 holes thanks to a 67 out there today. What was working for you on Saturday?
Looks like everything off the tee. My iron game's really good right now, and I've been putting well since I switched to claw grip. So it seems like everything's going smoothly for me right now.
What is it about this layout that has had you so comfortable on the greens?
It's just such a perfect condition out there. The green's rolling really fast and firm. It's just, you can't really complain about like bad grass or anything out here. It's just perfect.
How big was it to get off to a fast start? You were 4 under through 8, kind of held on at the end of the round.
Yeah, we all did at the first 5-6 holes, me, Ricky, James, and I kind of felt like I need to catch up with them, and it happened, and I hung on there, which was good, and it was a good day for me.
You got the lead with 1 day left to go. Thanks for the time. Back to you. Thanks, bud.
All right, thanks so much. So Danny Lee looking at his first 54-hole lead in his PGA Tour career. He did trail by a shot when he took the Greenbrier Classic this past summer. So, you know, the Greenbrier, his first win. Will it be the greenest show on grass for his second win? It didn't really work out for him when he was in second place in a couple of tournaments. He kind of hung around that same mark. Maybe this is a good spot for him. He has proven to be a heck of a closer as a young amateur, winning a U.S. amateur at a very young age. He was the youngest winner on the European Tour for a long time when he took the Johnny Walker in 2009. Aaron, maybe this could be a comfortable spot for him. We don't know yet.
Well, you know, it took him a while. Like we see a lot of these young prodigies that come up through the game that win U.S. amateurs, and they struggle when they get out on tour because the competition's just that much better. He knew he had to change some things in his golf swing, and he gives a lot of credit to Drew Steckel, who's got a nice stable of players, Jason Gore, and a nice stable of swingers of the golf club, I would say, and Jason Gore and Pat Perez, and obviously Danny Lee, the star pupil there. But he's getting it done with a real balanced attack this week. He's not doing anything poorly. He is driving the ball exceptionally well. He's first in fairways. He's also first in putting. You do that, you do those two things, that's why you got a 3-shot lead on the PGA Tour. You can also combine that with fantastic iron play, timely iron play, where he's putting the ball in the right spots on the greens, giving himself makeable putts, and he's converting with those putts because that is the strongest part of his game. He might be a tough guy to catch tomorrow. However, he is being chased by a man who has come from behind on many occasions over the last year, and it seems to be what he's getting known to be as a chaser in Ricky Fowler. So he's going to have to deal with that tomorrow. If the ball striking continues, it's going to be very hard for Ricky Fowler, I believe, to catch him.
One of the things Danny Lee is doing so well throughout his career, and particularly this week, is something that's not so obvious, but has been obvious in the history of the game. When you think of the greatest players of this game, some of the boldest players have been those men. Arnold Palmer certainly comes to mind, Seve Ballesteros. More recently, Phil Mickelson. Just remember the second shot in 2010 Masters on the 13th hole around the tree, or in 2007 the Players Championship when he hit it left on 10 and went through the trees. Phil Mickelson used to say, I don't know why everybody doesn't play aggressive. It pays off. One of my good friends, Mark Brooks, who seemed to get as much out of his game when it mattered as anybody, always said, when you're chasing, a birdie will make you more than a bogey will hurt you. Well, take a look at Danny Lee. Not as talented as those players by any stretch of the imagination, at least not yet. But Danny Lee, in driving distance, 138. Now, typically, you'll see somebody going for the green. That means how many times they go for a par 5 in 2, and it'll be commensurate with that number or close to it. He is much more aggressive than his driving distance, and you'll see that he makes great decisions. Because he has a good short game, he goes for it, and only 14 players on the PGA Tour, when they go for par 5s in 2, actually make birdie more often than Danny Lee. And one of the reasons, if you will look down at the bottom, it's because nobody misses to the right less frequently than this guy. So he can play with some aggression. Here he is on the third hole. OB is to the right, but he can take a tighter line because, well, basically he never misses to the right, and he can be aggressive. This is a gorgeous shot from 257 yards, and he is a very aggressive player in spite of the fact that he is not one of the longest hitters on the PGA Tour. Taking a page out of Arnold Palmer's book, Seve's book, more recently Phil Mickelson's book. Maybe not as long, maybe not as talented, but it pays to be aggressive in many spots, and in particular right here at the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
And it's a 3-shot lead for Danny Lee over the likes of Ricky Fowler, who did catch up with George Savaricas.
Thanks, Ricky. It seemed like a lot of stops and starts today as you get in with the 70. What's the takeaway?
Well, definitely pleased to get that round out of the way. Didn't have my best stuff out there. Saw a lot of putts slide by. Struggled with some of the speeds. I felt like giving the greens a little bit too much credit out there, and they were a little slow. So we'll get that dialed in for tomorrow. And like I said, nice to get that out of the way. Made a nice swing with driver coming down the last, and ready to get going tomorrow.
We saw some low numbers earlier in the day. It seemed like the later groups struggled out there. How would you describe the scoring conditions?
I mean, there was some tricky pins. You got to take care of the par 5s. If you're able to do that, you add in a couple extras, and there goes your low number. I missed a couple opportunities out there, and then couldn't really get any putts to go. So here I am with 70. But like I said, nice to kind of get that one out of the way. And I feel like every tournament that I've won, I've had one of those days where I've kind of just had to hang in there and keep myself in a position for Sunday. So we're in the last group. We've got a chance, and we'll go give it a shot tomorrow.
Yeah, touching on that, you made bogeys on 11 and 12, bounce back with a birdie on 13 to kind of vault yourself into that last group. How big is it to be playing alongside Danny, the leader, and be able to try and stare him down for 18 holes?
Well, I mean, I feel like just being in that last group, you can kind of, you know what you need to do. I can at least show him what I got and maybe challenge him a bit. So that's the plan. Hopefully get off to a good solid start tomorrow. And I mean, really, it all comes down to those last 4 holes here. So it'll be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks.
Back to you. Thanks, Ricky.
Well, Ricky Fowler has learned how to win. That has become obvious over the last 9 months, looking for win number 4 in that stretch. His position entering the final round is not always out front. In fact, he's looking to close for just the second time, win out front. Korea back in 2011. That was a long time ago. He's a different man now. Abu Dhabi just a couple of weeks ago. Now that's more like it. That was a strong field, just like this one. So Ricky Fowler in a great spot to send yet another message that he is a continually evolving player.
Yeah, loads of talent and a selective memory has carried a lot of players. I've just made reference to Phil Mickelson as it relates to Danny Lee, but I'll yet again make another reference to Phil Mickelson, who can miss shots wide to the left, wide to the right, and get up and swing fearlessly. And a great example of that, if you think about the 2 shots that Ricky Fowler missed today, off the 5th tee, some 40, 50 yards left of that fairway, and then later in the round on the 15th hole, some 40, 50 yards right of the 15th. Now, think about the drive that he did in the 18th hole. There is out of bounds to the right. There are lots of bunkers on the right to complicate that shot. Water to the left, and he hit the longest drive of the day right down the middle. Think again about the second shot he hit at 18 yesterday, just a soft cut to that right pin. He is a man for the moment. The bigger the moment, the bigger the man, and it is really fun to watch, and this crowd loves him.
He's resilient. I used the word yesterday. I'll use it again. The man is resilient. But the word I didn't use that I wanted to use yesterday with him is that what gives him this resilience is, I think, is a brilliant sense of perspective that he has in his life and everything that he does. Everything that he does, it's like water off a duck's back. He doesn't care whether he makes a bogey. He doesn't care if he misses the putt, because in his eyes, he just looks at it as, well, I'm just going to make the next one if I give myself a chance. And it's that attitude, I think, Brandel, that's going to push him through tomorrow. And if Danny Lee gives him one slight bit of an opening, Ricky Fowler's going to jump on it. Danny Lee needs to play solid golf tomorrow, because I think Ricky Fowler's going to come with guns blazing.
And Phil Mickelson needs to play special golf tomorrow, maybe another round of 65 or better to win this title for the 4th time in his illustrious career. When we come back, we're going to take a more detailed look at Phil Mickelson's 3rd round, and he went low today. Also, Rory McIlroy needed to go low this weekend to have a chance at winning in Dubai for the 3rd time and defending his title. We'll tell you how he did and how much of a chance he has.
Golf Central is brought to you by
Titleist, the #1 ball at the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. Shipsticks, the largest golf bag shipping company in the world, simplifying the way you travel.